Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge that the land upon which we're undertaking our revitalization efforts is part of the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Hi, and welcome to this public engagement for Quayside. I'm Katie Andrushak, and I support communications and public engagement here at Waterfront Toronto. The following 8-minute video will provide you with information about the revised project goals for Quayside, which have been informed by the last 3 years of work and engagement that we've done on this project. We'll also discuss our approach to delivering this work, as well as how your input helps to shape this project now and in the future. If you're interested in learning more about Quayside, including the background and history of the project, we encourage you to visit the project website, quaysideto.ca.
Hi, I'm Jed Kilbourne, the Director of Development Planning for Waterfront Toronto, which is the organization working on transforming Toronto's waterfront. In 2001, we were created by the Government of Canada, the Province of Ontario, and the City of Toronto to work with all 3 levels of government and the private sector to unlock the social, cultural, and economic potential of the waterfront. Over the last 20 years, we've carefully planned and revitalized these former industrial lands, incorporating them back into the urban fabric of the city as new mixed-use communities. We've done this by adding a mix of residential buildings, including adding new affordable housing units in places like the West Don Lands. In places like Underpass Park, we transformed a derelict and unused space below the Eastern Avenue overpass into an inviting public park that reconnects neighborhoods from the north and south. We've built the Water's Edge Promenade and parks like Sugar Beach to provide both local residents and Torontonians ample opportunity to relax, socialize, and connect, something that we have all felt the importance of over the last few months. Places like Sherbourne Common offer a great public space while working to clean stormwater before it's returned to Lake Ontario. This is an outline of the designated waterfront area, the waterfront lands we are transforming. Today, we're going to be focusing on Quayside. Quayside is made up of 5 different development blocks in the eastern waterfront, where Queens Quay East turns into Parliament Street. This area is an important connector between communities to the north, the Water's Edge to the south, new waterfront communities to the west, and future development to the east. Quayside spans 2 precincts, the East Bayfront and Keating Channel, both of which have approved precinct plans that direct planning and development. The precinct plans both support the Central Waterfront Secondary Plan, whose big moves are to remove barriers and make connections, to build a network of spectacular waterfront parks and public spaces, to promote a clean and green environment, and to create dynamic and diverse new communities. 3 years ago, Waterfront Toronto set out to create an ambitious plan for a next-generation sustainable community at Quayside. We now find ourselves in a very different world than when we began 3 years ago. COVID-19, rising social inequality, and mounting climate disasters have made us all collectively take pause and consider what kind of world we want to be living in after 2020. Over the last several months, we've been reflecting on the goals we initially set out to accomplish and on the feedback we've received from thousands of members of the public about the project to date. We're now reaching out again with revised project goals to make sure that what we set out to achieve for Quayside continues to align with what matters most to you about where you live, work, and play. Through your feedback, we heard that a great community at Quayside needs to be inclusive. While Toronto's skyline continues to expand with new condominiums, much of that housing is beyond the reach of many Toronto households. Inclusive, complete communities must be accessible to people of all age levels, from all backgrounds or degree of physical ability. We will maintain our commitment to build affordable rental housing and will explore ways of ensuring the ground floor uses in buildings support great, interconnected outdoor public spaces that allow people to gather and spend time together. We're also looking at ways that new development can help people age in place, which could include long-term care facilities or other assisted living opportunities. We also heard about the importance of continuing to push for higher sustainability standards that will help make our communities and physical environments more resilient. There's no question that climate change is an urgent issue that must be addressed. We want to continue Waterfront Toronto's climate leadership by building healthy ecological spaces. The pandemic has also underscored the importance of parks and public spaces to our overall well-being. At Quayside, we want to continue to set ambitious targets for our development partners and build resilience into our infrastructure systems and public realm. Finally, we're exploring ways to make Quayside dynamic, lively, year-round place to live in and visit. We know that in order to have a successful waterfront, we need to bring people to the water and provide interesting things for them to do and see. This can include ground floor retail, but we also want to find other ways of animating both the ground floors of new buildings and the open spaces that surround them. We're exploring ways to introduce cultural institutions that could anchor an overall dynamic streetscape that will bring more people to the waterfront throughout the year. We know that a critical part of animating the waterfront will be access, and we're continuing to take steps toward bringing higher order public transit to the waterfront, as well as complementing the existing active transportation corridor along the Martin Goodman Trail. Waterfront Toronto is setting out to accomplish these goals by using our traditional approach to development. That includes leading the revitalization of the 5 blocks of Quayside and working with a variety of partners to deliver the many elements that will establish this community, including parks, streets, and infrastructure. As an initial step in this multi-year project, Waterfront Toronto is preparing to release a request for proposals for a development partner this winter, and we expect to have selected a development partner by summer of 2021. This consultation is just the first of many. In the coming years, Waterfront Toronto will continue to actively engage with the community throughout the design and development process for all of the different elements that make up Quayside, which will include Silo Park, Parliament Slip, and the Water's Edge Promenade. The revitalization of our waterfront will take several years, and it's important that we get it right. Confirming your priorities is the first step in moving forward with the revitalization of Quayside.
Now we'd like to hear from you. From now until October 23rd, we have a number of ways for you to provide feedback on our updated project goals. We have a brief online survey where you can let us know what inclusive, resilient, and dynamic means to you to ensure that Quayside reflects what matters most about where you live, work, and play. During the weeks of October 12th and 19th, we also have 3 informal interactive sessions with our project team solely dedicated to answering your questions about Quayside. We will be documenting all of your feedback and publishing it in a report on our project website at the end of this process. Links to this online survey and registration to the informal Q&A sessions, as well as other background materials on our work to date, can be found on our project website, quaysideto.ca. We look forward to hearing from you soon.